Hello everyone, Carlos Flores, back on basics. So, before we begin this video, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Back on Basics 9985. Again, Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button so you can get notified of any new video that comes on board. If you have any questions, any comments, any suggestions, any topics, if you want me to give you my take on something, put it in the comment section. I'll be happy to do so. I'll be more than happy to do so. If you want to connect with me on other social media outlets, feel free to do so. On Facebook, you can search for me at Carlos Flores Jr. On Instagram, you can type at Back on Basics. On X, you can also type at Back on Basics, and you should be able to connect with me. Again, I enjoy the comments that you all have been sending. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for the 198 subscribers. Again, right, we're building a community. We're building a support system. I'm giving you different topics. I know that sometimes, you know, it may not fit your mindset at the time, or it may not fit what you're dealing with, or what you're making sure you get through, or while you're reaching certain goals. But believe me, some of the things within these, because again, topics like mind-body balance, right? Like, for example, remember the pebble going down a snowy mountain. As soon as it starts going down, it starts compacting. And then at a certain point, it has so much momentum, so much force that you're going to be unstoppable. It's like unstoppable. Remember, we've been talking about know yourself, know others, know your higher power, know your goals. And today we're going to talk about, again, thumbs up for this video, know how to celebrate your success by completing your goals. So know how to celebrate your goals. And so it's very important to do that, because as a therapist, what I used to tell my clients was this: we need to have closure. Closure is very important. Closure tells your mind that we can actually store those memories, but then move on. So closure needs to happen. And it doesn't mean that you have to go to a therapist or a counselor to do so, unless you really need to. Then I would recommend you do that. Closure just means that you're celebrating. You're celebrating your success, right? If you said that you were going to lose 5 pounds and you get to 5 pounds, you celebrate. You celebrate by doing a lot of different things. And we'll talk about that, about different aspects on how to celebrate your success. But in the meantime, again, going back to another topic that I talked about in previous videos, the compounding effect. Compounding means that one victory builds on another, and that momentum that is building and that's ramping up. Then you go from smaller goals to medium-sized goals. Then you go from medium-sized goals to larger goals. And then it's like, you know, that momentum, it's like that pebble going down the snowy mountain. At some point, it just goes. It has so much force that you're unstoppable. Remember, you always move forward, right? You use your support system. You talk to your village. You make sure that you are an integral part of forward. Making sure that you support your support system as well. Making sure that you connect with your village. Making sure, and this was last night's video, you go back to the basic foundation. Right? Some of my basic foundations is exactly that. Going back to that. Dealing with war. dealing with PTSD, being able to have mind-body balance, being able to use my support system so that way I can make the best decisions in the present moment. Because the present moment is the best moment to make decisions. It's the best moment to start a goal. It's the best moment to end a goal as well. Because guess what? If you're in the present moment, then closure comes easy. Closure comes easy. It's the same thing. We talked about this before. Whenever somebody passes, what do? We have closure. Does it mean that we're going to forget about them? No. It just means that we're going to close the books on all of these emotional reactions that we have. And then we're going to move their memory here. We don't forget. We just don't react physically as we did before. Wins or losses, right? Wins or losses. It doesn't matter. You still get a reaction. Some of us get positives or negative reactions in either wins or losses because of the way that we see things around us. You have to make sure that you have closure. You close that. So, for example, I've given you this example before. If you have somebody that you're still grieving, what I want you to do is I want you to get a piece of paper. I want you to write everything. Free writing. There's no number of paragraphs. If you don't want punctuation, then you don't have to have punctuation. Free write. Just let everything out. And once you have it, it's like writing a letter to that person. And once you have it, you read it out loud to yourself. Because guess what you're doing? The first one is you're letting it out. You're letting your emotions out as you write it. The second time is you're listening to your words, because those are the ones that are going to help you close. And then what I would recommend you do is either shred it, right, in a shredder, cut it up as small as you can, or, offer it to the person. If they're buried somewhere where you can get to, offer it, read it to them, and then leave it there, or offer it and put it somewhere where it's there. What you're doing is you're closing the loop. You're saying, I'm not going to forget you, but I'm not going to have all of these reactions, physical reactions, emotional reactions. It's still here. My dad's still here. My dad's still here. And sometimes, you know what? I miss him a lot. He was my north. He was my true north. He's the one who told me things to do, the way to do them. He's the one who said, hey, sometimes you can get more bees with honey than with vinegar. And my dad was right. That's the reason why I begin a relationship, a camaraderie, a partnership, a support system by building a relationship. You build the relationship, because once you build a relationship, then it's a two-way street. Then you can talk about the good and the bad and the ugly, and not deal with all of this super emotional, super physical awareness that comes out, because it's too overwhelming. So again, celebrate your goals. So how do you celebrate your goals? Okay, let me give you some examples. I gave you some examples of other stuff, but let me give you some examples, right? You draw a path and you sit there and you reminisce and you think about everything that you've done from the beginning till now. Believe me, some of us, if not all of us, started a goal and finished a goal that we thought would never be achieved. Believe me, right? If you think that way, raise your hand. And I'm raising my hand. And I'm like, holy crap. This goal is done. So now you have to close it, right? Now you have to say, I'm going to celebrate the fact that I met this goal. I achieved this goal. How do you do that? Again, you listen to your favorite music. You watch your favorite show. You watch your favorite movie, right? You listen to something new that you haven't listened to that actually just calms you down. You buy yourself something, I don't know, something small, something tiny, something medium-sized, something big, right? It's kind of like a reward. Like I said, you take a bath, and then you reminisce about the things that are going on, and you let things go. You meditate, right? And you just let your mind just flow. You pray, right? And you thank your higher power because your higher power made you strong enough to deal with adversity, to deal with going in different directions, but finally just focusing on moving forward. Celebrate it. If it's a big goal, celebrate it however you want to, right? Again, one of the things that I do whenever I achieve a goal is I celebrate by sitting down, right? Turning on the TV, watching my favorite show, The Big Bang Theory. And for the longest time, it's like, it made me wish to have friends like that, that would be there, that would be doing the things that I love doing. What I realized is I have friends like that do the things that I want to do, that do the things that I love doing, that I can do that. All I have to do is pick up the phone, text, and then I will be back with my support system. I mean, it's my good friends. And again, you have to celebrate. Sometimes you have to celebrate alone because of changes that have happened. Sometimes you have to celebrate with your blood, with your family, right? Sometimes you have to celebrate with your friends because they have supported you through thick and thin. Sometimes you have to celebrate with total strangers because there isn't anybody else to celebrate with, but the total strangers are willing to celebrate with you, and that's okay, as long as you're okay. So again, there's different ways of celebrating your goals. There's different ways of celebrating your dreams. Finishing and accomplishing a goal should motivate you to create a new one, right? It's a cycle. This is a life cycle, right? I've done so many goals. I've achieved some. I have not some. I'm almost done with some of them. And so again, you have to review your goals every 3 to 6 months because you never know. You could have achieved it even without you knowing. And that's one thing that we have to be careful with, because sometimes we think that we haven't achieved the goal, but we have. And so we want to make sure that we celebrate to have closure. Why closure? Because the more goals that we have, and that's the reason why I recommend for you to have 1, 2, or 3 goals going on at the same time, at a time, because that way you're hyper-focused on them. You're focused on them. And so, and then when you meet one, you have closure, you celebrate you celebrate others that have helped you, and then you go, right? And then you go. And so there's many different things that take place. There's many different ways to celebrate goals. Playing video games. I know that some of you like video games. I mean, going out and going to a karaoke bar, just singing your heart out. I mean, there's different things. Going outside and watching a movie, taking a staycation or taking a trip. Different ways to celebrate your goals. And why it's that? It's because you want closure. You want this supercomputer to remember what you went through, because experiences is what we build compounding effects on, either positive or negative. And let me say that again. Experiences, life experiences, mentors, your support system, your village builds life events, and it builds compounding effect. The more you remember, the more you keep it on file in your supercomputer, the more you'll be able to put things together and say, I can do that. I can get to that point. So again, celebrate your goals, right? However big, however small, however everything, closure is what you need. Remember, even when you lose somebody, and I've said this before in another video, you will not forget them because everything is in here. You just need to know how to do your memory and your memory tag so that way you can recall them. But I'm telling you, if it's a person that's close to you, you won't forget. But the thing is that emotional and physical state that happens whenever you're remembering somebody, something, that will go away and the memories will stay again, right? So celebrate. How many times I'm going to say it? Celebrate your achievements. Celebrate your goals. It doesn't have to have money. It doesn't have to involve anything elaborate. Celebrate. So, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button so that you can get notified of any new videos that come on board. Any comments, any topics, any suggestions. If you want me to give you my take on a topic, then let me know in the comment section. If you want to connect with me on Facebook, search for me, Carlos Flores Jr. If you want to connect with me on Instagram, type in @BackOnBasics. If you want to connect with me on X, type in @BackOnBasics. Till next time, remember, celebrate. When I get to 200 subscribers, which is like 2 more subscribers, I will celebrate. I'm already celebrating because my mind is expanded because I wasn't even thinking that I was going to reach 198. It's fast. Again, this is not a sexy channel. This is a channel that makes you think. This is the channel that challenges you sometimes. This is a channel that makes you adapt. And I want to make sure that you have all the tools so that you can do that. Back on Basics.